Hey, sometimes when you are doing stuff in life like work or personal stuff, do you find like your brain is totally like thinking about all the other stuff that you need to be doing in the other roles of your life? Yeah, that totally happens to me as well. Hey guys, I'm Jen Anderson, and today I'm going to share with you a hack on what I do to help myself when my brain will just not shut up and I'm trying to do something totally different. So, as working Christian moms, we have kind of three main categories of our life, right? So working Christian mom. So working, work. So work, if you're running your business, if you're working for somebody, if you're working part-time, if you're in the house, out of the house, whatever. There's like that work element, right? And it just has a lot of stuff that can go with that, from getting yourself ready and getting out the door and commuting to work and doing work and getting home. And then there's the Christian element of our life. So if you have any kind of service capacity that you're in your church congregation or your community, there's stuff around that, right? There's things that need to be done, not to mention your own spiritual progression, right? So for example, having a morning spiritual routine, having daily scripture study, making sure that you spend time talking to your family about your Christian beliefs, etc., right? So like it's a thing, it's like always there, okay? And then the third one is mom. So mom role, right? So that never stops, like ever, right? Through the eternities. Like mom doesn't stop. And it changes based on if the kids are a toddler or they're in elementary school or high school or college, married kid, like whatever. Like it doesn't matter what's going on, but that role of mom, like there's constantly stuff in your head. So I was meeting with a client yesterday. We were having a VIP day where I spend the whole day with somebody and we just do a big deep dive into what is going on with their career and what are they trying to do with their business and just all those kinds of things, right? So it's a really powerful day. And one of the things that she and I were talking about is how crazy it is. Like you just cannot turn your mind off, right? Like it's just like, when does it shut up in my mind? And then we were talking about how like, you're doing business stuff and then you're thinking about all these things you need to get done in your personal life, right? So for example, you could be in a business meeting and then all of a sudden you have this moment and you realize, I left a load of laundry in the washing machine. Darn it. That means when I get home, I gotta wash it again before I can put it in the dryer because it's gonna have that wet all day funk smell on it, right? And we can't be having that stuff dried and put away in our laundry. So then you go, oh my gosh, okay, I have got to remember to do that, right? And so what do you do with that bit of information, okay? Or you're doing personal stuff, maybe you're cooking dinner and all of a sudden you go, and you remember there was that email that you're supposed to send to a client that was really important that needed to get to them, okay? So what do you do with it? So let me tell you and show you what I do with it. So I love using an ARC system. So ARC, just A-R-C, this is from Staples. And you can buy all sorts of little tabs and different kinds of paper to put inside. They have these cool little plastic like Ziploc. Let's see if I can show you the top of it. It's like a Ziploc thing, right? So you can put like coupons and stuff. So I haul this thing around and it helps me with church stuff. It helps me with stuff with running my business and my personal life. So this is not my planner. Excuse me, this is not my journal. I have a journal, and you've probably seen some of my other videos. I love doing bullet journaling, but this is my go-to. This keeps track of my goals. This keeps track of like daily, what is it that I need to do? So when you're in those moments and you have like that, oh my gosh, there's this thing I need to do, right? So this is where I use one sheet. And on one side, I put personal, and then on the other side of that same sheet, I put business to do, okay? And I use it for just the current week. So I have a blank one here just so I can show you and not actually show you my actual to-do list. So what happens is that keep this with you, okay? Now, you may not decide to use an ARC. You may have another like notebook or planner or something like that we were doing, but the reason why one reason why I like ARCs is that, let me show you, you can actually pull the page out, right? And I'm just going to do that as we're talking about this. So then you can move things around and it's kind of nice. Like, instead of being like, oh shoot, like I don't want to tear that page out and stick it somewhere else, okay? So, so anyhow, but the reason why this really helps, and we were talking about this yesterday when she and I were meeting for our VIP day, is that when you're in that moment and you're in that business meeting and you remember about that laundry or whatever, you don't want to forget about it. And you need to get it off of your mind so that you can be present in that conversation with whatever's going on with work, right? So that way you can just focus on and being present with that customer or with your coworker or whatever it is that you're doing, okay? But you also know that you need to write it down, that you need to remember to do the laundry, right? Or follow up with somebody or whatever. So, because maybe you have a kid at home, right, in the afternoon, and when they get home and you can tell them, hey, go start that laundry again and just wash it on, normal cycle again. And they'll open up and say, Mom, why? Like, it seems like it's wet and it should just go in the dryer. And you say, no, just go and wash it again. And so then that way maybe they can help you out with it too, right? But by putting that on your personal list, then you'll remember to do it later. And you won't be in that meeting thinking about doing it, because that's not helpful. You want to focus on being there present for that person you're having a meeting with, right? And so don't let something like a load of laundry take you away from being present in that time and in that meeting. But if you have something like this ready to go, it will help you so that you can be present and be ready to write down those things that you need to do. Likewise, like cooking dinner, right? So got stuff going on in the kitchen, you need to get your people fed, all that kind of stuff. And you remember, oh, I need to send that email. Oh my gosh, like, okay, as soon as dinner is done or whatever, I'm going to just say, hey guys, I need a couple of minutes, and you go excuse yourself and you send off that email, and then you come back and finish up doing whatever. So in that moment, instead of trying to remember that you need to send the email and also not being present for your family for dinner time, instead, if you just have your to-do list with you right there in the kitchen, jot down, send so-and-so the email, right? And then you can just go back to focusing on cooking dinner, enjoying family time, connecting with people at the end of the day, etc. And then when you have that moment where you can take a couple minutes and go send the email, it'll be on your to-do list and you won't even have to stress about it, okay? And you might think, well, I don't want to get food on my to-do list. Well, I get that, right? But like in the end, I guess it's that big of a deal if you get a little bit of food. But don't have your to-do list like maybe right next to the the stove. Maybe put it over on the counter or something that makes sense for you. So anyhow, I wanted to share with you why I also have personal and business on the same piece of paper. Is that when I'm in personal mode, when I'm focusing in on mom's stuff, and actually on my personal side, I also put my my church related things on here too. When I'm focused in on that time, I just want to focus in on that, okay? I don't want to have my business stuff there as well. But when I'm doing business things, I have it flipped over to that side of the piece of paper so I can focus on, okay, what are the main things that I need to do for my business, okay? Because at that time, I'm zeroed in, I'm dialed in, I'm focused on what needs to happen for my business. Family, personal stuff will be dealt with later, okay? My business deserves its time. My customers deserve their time, right? Just like my family members deserve their time, okay? So that's why I put it on the same piece of paper, but I just flip it over. So then that way it can be zeroed in and focused on that and not have it like side by side and have my eyes going back and forth and being like, oh, God, I got to do all these things in my personal life, but I'm trying to do work stuff. Or, oh, I've got all these things I need to do in my business life, but I've got all these personal things. Like, don't do that to yourself. Don't add any more stress, right? None of us need that. Instead, try something like this. It might help you so that you can be a little bit more laser focused and be present with what's going on at the time. Yet you'll have a spot to write it down so that you won't forget for later. All right, guys, go down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this or share any other hacks that you have about what you're doing to manage the crazy thinking in your brain. Oh my gosh, right? So nuts, but it's reality. So let's deal with it, right? And then that way we can relax, slow down, and have a little bit more joy in the journey. Thanks. Talk to you soon.